The 2015 low-budget horror movie Shark Exorcist may not be the first supernatural shark crossover that we've covered on this channel. Shout out to Ouija Shark. But like my final project in an advanced poetry class, it is the most incoherent and embarrassing. Turns out I'm not 100% clear on what a syllable is, but I do love writing about my trauma. And now Shark Exorcist can go right to the top of the list after more or less consuming my soul like a demon shark trapped inside the body of a girl with bad hair. See, that was called a simile. Thanks, poetry class. And take that, Robert Frost, you white trash New England townie. But just as poetry is spun from the scars of our past, Shark Exorcist shall now be reborn into a masterclass of what not to do when you're making a low-budget horror movie. In today's breakdown, we will be cutting open the stomach of Shark Exorcist and examining everything inside, from rusty license plate to rotten limb, so that we can decide on everything this movie would need in order to be even remotely effective. For example, a shoddy screenplay that could use several rewrites, an overzealous cast that should take several seats, and an absurdly poor production value that will take several years to clear public consciousness, as what I would agree is one of the all-time worst horror movies ever to haunt these open waters. So sharpen your harpoons and gather a bucket of fish entrails because it's time to get chummy in this demonic shark installment of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick and thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV movies, and other such content here on the web, and we break it down like a friend group that's been possessed by a demon animal, so that we can look at each row of teeth and decide if it's sharp enough to bite ya, or if it's just a baby tooth that's gonna be given to the tooth fairy. But before we get into all of that, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. That way you never miss new videos from me. Also, hit that notification bell icon, and I've got merch and a Patreon. Merch. I'm not wearing a merch shirt today. I just realized. I also realized you can see my nipples. That's the Halloween spirit for ya. As is this video, which I love covering horror movies for the month of October. If you don't like horror movies, you'll like them when I talk about them. So just stay seated and watch the shark movie. I'm just kidding. But the movie does start with not a shark, but a nun. You didn't see that one coming. I love that these low-budget to-be horror movies are always pulling in like something that's sort of trending from pop culture horror. Like Ouija Shark was obviously the Ouija, and then this is Shark, like Jaws and Exorcist, obviously. And then of course we have the Nun from the Conjuring universe. And this is a very, very, very low-quality version of that, I assume.
Vanessa Blair, a Catholic nun, is being accused of the brutal torture and death of 13 local boys and girls.
The world has betrayed me, so the world will taste my vengeance.
Honestly, I stand with Sister Vanessa. I had the same exact reaction when my high school drama club didn't cast me as Maria in The Sound of Music, even though I had the relevant experience of trying to the rich dad of some kids I was babysitting, after I had led them out onto the hillside for singing lessons until they were hospitalized for heat exhaustion. And they just hand the part over to some who was homeschooled until last year. Anyway, which life event did you take too seriously that caused you to worship Satan? Because as for the antagonist of this movie, we're not sure what happened to Sister Vanessa that caused her to be yelling that the world has betrayed her. And yes, that backstory would have been helpful in understanding what caused her to go on a killing spree and start openly threatening the entire planet. Also, can someone tell me, are real-life nuns this prone to soliloquy? Because she's screaming at literally no one right now. Sis, how are your horrific crimes supposed to teach any of us a lesson when the only record of your motives was this declaration to a lake? Most domestic terrorists also post something on Facebook, I'm just saying. Usually, writers will want even the most evil characters to have some trait or experience that the audience can empathize with. We all know on some level what it would feel like to have a major betrayal happen to us. We can all imagine how it would feel to experience some horrible injustice, but only if the script actually tells us what that injustice is. They just hand the part over to some who was homeschooled until last year. Why has Sister Vanessa Blair turned her back on God? Why did she torture and kill those 13 children? Is there anything in her that I can relate to one of my past experiences? I mean, besides going out in no makeup other than the wrong shade of lipstick. Like, was she wrongly accused of being a predator of some sort, like Freddy Krueger? Did a priest take advantage of her in some way, or was she snubbed by the church or fired or excommunicated unfairly? Anything would have helped us, but they don't even almost tell us this. All we get is some girl come up to Vanessa and she's like, "You I'm gonna kill you. You did all of this. I'm gonna make sure you rot in hell. And it's like, I don't know who told this girl that vigilante justice was her shtick, but mama, she was wrong. She got told wrong. Vanessa stabs her right away and then drags her body to this lake that we see. By the way, this was shot around the University of Tennessee, which of course is not an area where you find sharks, being a landlocked state, but it's okay. This all takes place around a huge lake. A huge, horrible lake that I don't want to watch anymore. But here we are. Vanessa, let's sacrifice this college co-ed.
Lord Satan, accept my sacrifice! Send me an avenger!
Wow, I feel like that shot just established a new golden rule for filmmaking that before Shark Exorcist, we didn't even know we needed. And yet it now seems so universally true that it will be taught in film schools from now on. Your evil nun will never be scary if we see her pale little bare feet in the very first scene. Like most film theories, there can be exceptions, but in general, you don't want to break this rule unless it's very intentional. If you want to open your demonic Sister Act 1 by showing some evil feet on screen, it better not be normal looking, this little piggy went to market. Baby, you better show me some feet that have me singing Who Let the Dogs Out. Those better be the scraggliest, craggliest toenails we have ever seen in a movie, something that would make a podiatrist scream. I'm talking special effects makeup, use prosthetics, hire my dad as a body double with me as his understudy. I want Quentin Tarantino to see that close-up of a foot and then have to find a new weird thing to masturbate to. Because this just looks to me like an actress that didn't want to get her shoes wet, which is exactly the kind of thing I would expect an unhinged witch to not care about. Why are her dry shoes on her mind? It's a human sacrifice, sweetheart. It's a little distracting. It takes me out of the movie. Like, I didn't go to a Catholic school, but I did have some crusty witch math teachers who also terrified me. And those creaky, freaky, deaky, custom bunion shoes from colonial New England were one of their scariest and most memorable attributes. Those little feet with the little shoes, black shoes, witch shoes, hocus pocus. Let's bring some of that detail into the frame. When footwear or costume design in general are seemingly an afterthought, it's gonna be hard for me to get invested in the characters. I'm also not here for that weak-ass dead body kick. I want to see that dead teenager fall from a 100-story cliff. So maybe some extra location scouting would have been good here, or at least wrap a dummy in a sheet and roll it from the top of those stairs. Child murder should be brutal. That's another unwritten rule that I'm imposing on you without the authority to do so. Happy Halloween, we get a title card that says 1 year later. It's time to meet our main cast of girlies. I hope you can stomach their personalities now, because it only gets worse once they're sharked.
Lauren, we're almost there, okay?
You said that like 2 hours ago.
Yeah, well look, there's a sign right there. So we're here. No more bitching, all right?
Yeah, Lauren, be nice to Emily.
Thanks, Allie.
Yeah, Lauren, be nice. Don't mention that strand of fried calamari that Emily uses in place of a sideburn. It's not her fault that the only hairstylist on set was any gay guy from one of the University of Tennessee dorms that didn't experience an antibiotic-resistant lice outbreak this year. Despite the marketing materials kind of making it sound like some priest is the main character of this movie, it's actually these three girls. Mainly Emily, but also Lauren and Allie.
Okay, Lauren, I'm gonna go work on my tan, so you just amuse yourself. Are you coming?
Wait, I want to work on my tan too.
Of course you do.
Finally, some three-dimensional women as the main characters in a movie. This screenplay was clearly written by a dude who understands all of the questions that 20-something women have crossing their minds, such as, do I look tan? Should I get bangs? And what is a best friend if not some that I hate? So Emily and Lauren go to work on their tans while Allie hangs back to speak on the phone with her cheating boyfriend who is clearly cheating. That's what Emily and Lauren are discussing in this next scene. They're like, I think Allie's getting cheated on. And Emily's like, I don't know, I think it's fine.
She might have said something, but you never listen. You're not the world's best listener.
I do listen.
Then close your eyes.
What's going on?
What color is my swimsuit?
I think Emily has confused listening and seeing once again. Lauren's like, well, I can't hear the color of your bathing suit, but I do remember you saying that birth control had caused your nipples to get all long and hard. So I'm guessing it's a padded bikini top over a whole mess of electrical wire and those plastic clips that close the bag of sliced bread. We'll come back to this subplot about the cheating boyfriend later when it doesn't matter. But what is very important to know is that our girl Allie gets into the water to, swim off all of her frustrations about infidelity in this dirty, disgusting, nasty lake. Now, when Sister Vanessa sacrificed that body, we saw it summon a demon shark, who I suppose has been lying dormant for the last year. But now we have this girl swimming around, and she makes the perfect shark bait. And we see this brutal shark attack. And by brutal, I mean a lot of hard cuts between a shark doing nothing and a girl going flippy floppy. We never see a shark come into contact with a human being in this movie. There's no contact. It's always just intercut footage between the two. Now, you may say that's not scary, but wait until you see the horrifying, vicious bite marks left behind.
Stay with me. Stay with me, okay? Okay. Help. We're gonna get some help. Shh, calm down. It's okay. What happened? What happened? Are you okay?
Did y'all hear what happened to Allie? A fabulous lake shark went and gave her a big old smooch on the leg wearing red lip gloss. Got it all over her, and she's vegan, mind you. She doesn't do carmine. So now she's having nonstop panic attacks just rolling around on the wet cement. I think I'm gonna stop doing that accent at some point in this breakdown, but I really don't know. It's Halloween. I'm just feeling it. Of course, it's all over the news that a young girl was attacked by a shark in this lake. No one really yet addresses the fact that sharks would have no way of getting into a lake, nor would they be able to survive there. But we do get some other information told, not shown to us, by Emily when she goes to let Lauren know what's been up. Lauren has been acting weird, though, for the last few weeks.
I just got back from the hospital. Why haven't you been there to see Allie? Just because. You might want to know that she got released today because apparently she got miraculously healed from a shark bite.
Wow, and that miracle was so apparent that it didn't even need to appear on screen. Imagine how boring it would have been to write a scene that showed the baffled medical staff tending to this disappearing wound. So lame. Instead, let's have two other characters sit on a bench outside of a mall and discuss it, in tones that are barely audible underneath the screaming chirp of 1 million crickets. No, Lauren, sweetie, don't worry about spitting out your gum. I know how hard you worked to win that at the arcade. I think your character would just keep using her tongue to conspicuously stow the juicy fruit behind her back molars, so that it completely enveloped your entire performance. Emily's like, I don't want our friend to come out of that hospital and go back to her cheating boyfriend. Lauren's like, he doesn't want anything to do with her, and Emily's like, wait, how do you know?
Have you been doing something behind Allie's back with Bobby? Whatever.
Doing something behind Allie's back with Bobby? Grow up, Emily. It's called cake farting, and it's a very common fetish. It's not Bobby's fault that Allie isn't into it, so of course he's gonna look elsewhere for a girl like me who knows a good recipe for buttercream and can fart on command. I can almost see the movie that the screenwriter was picturing in his head if it were made by a big studio. Like, this character Lauren would be suffering with this crazy guilt over cheating with Bobby while the friend is in the hospital, but she still kind of is a flawed character who does it anyway. The movie would probably have microphones so you could hear people, all of these fun bells and whistles. But because we don't have any of those things, you really lose a lot of nuance that this script probably was trying to go for, such as the show within a show, where there's this paranormal investigator trying to figure out this ghost shark.
Hello, I'm Nancy Chase, and welcome to another episode of Ghost Whackers.
With all due respect to whatever that just was, I don't know what the director of Shark Exorcist was even doing on set, because nothing says I've lost control of my low-budget film more than when the overconfident redhead from the theater department starts making her own acting choices and also dressing herself. The same energy that made her a great choice for the narrator in Into the Woods and the most sexually free at cast parties is going to come off as theatrical on screen, and it needs to be reined in so that nobody knows she's a f***ing weirdo. Also, I just got that this show's name, Ghost Whackers, is meant to be a play on Ghostbusters, but that wasn't immediately clear. My first thought was, why are you talking shit about those ghosts when there's nothing whacker than the way you segmented your whole body with denim? And this is no shade to redheads, by the way. I think red hair is beautiful. Although in this case, it is also upstaging the actress in almost every frame.
Where we explore the paranormal.
Reports claim a giant shark is feeding on the swimmers. I believe it's possessed.
Are we talking about that blowout baby girl? Because then I would agree, it does seem possessed. We just saw it trying to suffocate your face like a sleeping cat in the middle of your monologue. Where was the lice-free gay kid from Campus Housing East? Because clearly there was nobody on set to help Windy Day Wendy over here consider an off-the-shoulders updo for this scene, since it would appear they were shooting on location in the eye of a hurricane. She's supposed to be the cool and confident TV host, but all I'm getting is, "Don't
Don't make unnecessary journeys. Don't take risks on treacherous roads. And don't swim in the sea.
Like, okay, Blusterina, let's wrap this up. We're only 10 minutes into the movie. I don't know why this subplot exists. It doesn't need to. We could have made this a much more focused movie and still had it be an hour long if we had just built in the right tension into the right points, but we just waste our time. We waste my whole life.
It seems impossible, but I want to know for sure. How can we do that? By asking the victims themselves?
Dear God, where's my walkie? This is production to emergency services. We have a Mountain Dew code red. The confident theater girl has broken the fourth wall. I repeat, we have an asset out of containment. She's looking right at us. Oh, hey Denise. I love your jean vest. Or would you call that a frock? Either way, very on trend. Did you hear the cast party is gonna have an open bar? Yes, good girl. Tranquilize her. But don't worry, Nancy Chase is not just a TV host, she's also a psychic medium. I know. So she goes up to the water and tries to speak with the victims of these drowning victims. Apparently there have been several in the years since Vanessa Blair went and sacrificed that first girl into the river, or the lake, or the rivers and the lakes that she used to. But then she doesn't just connect with the victims, she ends up connecting with Demon Shark herself. Or is it Ouija Shark? No, it's Shark Exorcist. Shark Exorcist, the first.
I will eat your flesh and swallow your soul.
Someone call 911. There's a girl by the lake convulsing and bleeding from the mouth. Oh no, that's just whatever's left of her Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Liquid Lipstick, but still, she clearly needs some help. She's chewing the scenery even faster than she's chewing off her long-wear lip color. You know, some people might see this and have questions like, does she have any talent? Was it really worth any of the effort? Well, at the end of the day, you know what? I think it's great that we live in a place where people can pursue their dreams. I know I'm excited to pursue my dreams tonight in bed, thanks in large part to the sponsor of today's video, HELIX Sleep. Many of you know that I've been sleeping on a HELIX mattress for about a year now, but if not, let me introduce you to the best bed I've ever had. HELIX Sleep makes premium mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your body. We're talking the best sleep of your life, all shipped to your door for free within the US, rolled up in a box that is so fun to open. After having this mattress since June, so like a year and a few months, I am so amazed with how well it's holding up. Like, it feels as soft and supportive as it did the day that I got it. And I know that some of you have used my code to get a HELIX mattress of your own, and I'm so excited when you tell me that you love yours just as much. My whole life, I've had a hard time falling asleep and staying asleep, and I can't tell you what a relief it is that I've entered this effortless rest period of my life, and the whole process feels basically foolproof because HELIX Sleep has a sleep quiz that helps you identify the perfect mattress based on your body type and sleep preferences. I was matched with the HELIX Midnight Luxe with the Glaciotech cooling cover, which keeps me feeling cool and comfortable. This mattress is just perfect for side sleepers like me who run hot. But listen, I'm not sending you out into the wilderness buying mattresses with no recourse if it's not what you need. HELIX even offers a 100-night sleep trial so that you can be sure this is the right fit for your body. And HELIX mattresses are covered by a 10-year warranty, and they offer great financing options and payment plans. And there has never been a better time to shop HELIX because this year they just announced their newest line. Meet their most high-end collection yet with the HELIX Elite mattress. This is HELIX taking their years of sleep expertise and letting it all culminate and roll up into a mattress box for the most elevated sleep experience you can get. There are 6 different models within the HELIX Elite mattress collection. You're gonna be impressed with the high-end luxury paired with the personalized comfort that is tailored to fit you. I love my HELIX mattress. I really think you will too. So visit helixsleep.com/DiRamio to get 20% off your HELIX mattress plus 2 free pillows. So Allie is finally out of the hospital and again has miraculously recovered from this shark bite. There's not even a scar on her leg, but she is acting a little strange, a little off, a little melancholy. It's like, what do you have, PTSD or something? Lame. So Emily goes there and tries to shake it out of her.
Maybe it'd be better if I had died. Then you wouldn't have anything to worry about.
Allie, don't you say that.
I mean, that's the thing about almost dying, Emily. It is a real buzzkill.
Wow, that's quite a powerful revelation there, Shark Bite. But let's be honest, you ladies did not exactly seem like the life of the party even before your near-death experience. Can't you just be grateful that you finally have an interesting story to tell during Rush Week? We already know that your parents met at this same college. We can tell by how you're trying to make it work with your cheating boyfriend. Anyway, after meeting with Emily, Lauren runs into some guy who she asks for a ride to the lake, and after luring him into the the water, she disappears beneath the surface, and that's when he is attacked by the Shark of the Exorcist shark. We get that classic shark attack special effect where there's like a blood cannon under the water, which I think is the most successful practical effect that we see in this movie. But once again, there is no contact between fish and man. I forgot about this until just now, but apparently that kid was the brother of the priest named Father Michael, who we cut to him in his office, learning about this death via letter. I don't know who was like, oh, we got to alert his next of kin. Let's use snail mail. This letter is explaining that his death is still a mystery, but, you know, Father Michael wants to go investigate with all of the power in his Christian heart. Nancy Chase over here is still flopping her hair in front of the forehead, talking about ghosts and, you know, how she talked to the demon shark. But she's approached by this non-believer who, for some reason, never explained to us, is adamant that Nancy Chase is a fraud, which, like, I don't know, like, we know Nancy Chase is not a fraud because we've seen her talk to this shark. That wasn't fake. She really did connect with the shark. So I'm like, if anything, she's the realest out of all of us. Her and that horribly uncontrollable hair. You know, disobedient. I forgot about all of these random scenes interrupting the main story. Like 3 witches are in a graveyard. I'm like, okay, Charmed on the WB. They like also freak out because they connect with the demon shark, and I don't know, like it's really weird. Allie, after having just taken the life of her first victim, or maybe it was like there might have been more, but we didn't see it. Now it goes into a playground looking for more innocent flesh to devour.
I didn't see you here. Wanna play?
I like your sharks.
Me too, sharks are so cool.
So what do you like about sharks?
Everything, really.
Oh, really? Everything? So you like that sharks are known to commit intrauterine cannibalism? You like that some female sharks can store sperm for up to a year? Well, today's your lucky day because Allie here has been possessed by a great white demon, so that doesn't even cover half of the weird stuff that's going down in her airtight shark pussy. It was not clear to me at first whether this shark-obsessed character was supposed to be a child or just a more childlike adult, but she's credited on IMDb as woman with shark toys, so that kind of settled it. However, the actress that plays her was also a production assistant on the film, so I kind of feel like the character was written to be played by a child, but I don't know, for whatever reason, the director was not allowed near an active playground. We spend a lot of time watching Allie lure this young woman into her pool. I don't like it.
I think they're beautiful. Perfect creatures.
So what do you like to do, Allie?
I like to get wet.
Oh my god, that's exactly what a shark would say. And that's exactly how much gray eyeshadow a shark would wear. And just like a shark, they even gave her multiple rows of sharp, jagged teeth. Oh, nope, those might be her real teeth, which look perfect for hunting down seals in the North Atlantic. I'm just kidding. An imperfect smile signature, I think, beats picture-perfect teeth any day. Look at Kristen Dunst, and I think maybe she got veneers since then. Because she likes to get wet, long silence afterwards, this woman was like, come swim in my pool with me, and then we see Allie get into the pool with this girl. I was like, wow, this is a sexy scene of discomfort. Love that for them in the cutout bathing suits. But it cuts away before we really see anything bad happen to that shark-loving woman. Back to Nancy Grace, however, Nancy Chase. By the way, can we just talk about how many characters are in this movie? We have the 3 witches. We have that non-believer of Nancy's. We have that young girl just now, the cameraman, the priest, the voice the priest's letter was reading, that guy who died, that random girl who died. Like, what are we talking about? We better start killing off people a little bit faster than we're introducing them if we're gonna even make it through this movie.
I can feel you. Oh, come inside me. Yes. Spirit's coming me.
Ooh, don't worry. She's not gonna be talking like that every day. She should be able to store it for up to a year in her airtight shark. Remember from like 2 clips ago? Anyway, another random girl gets killed by Allie, and then the non-believer chases down Nancy. I'm like, what the f***? Isn't there supposed to be an exorcism at some point in this? All I'm seeing is more girls get possessed, and they all look so similar. I've made this point before with these low-budget films. It's like the casting pool is not diverse enough, so every girl is like a University of Tennessee student who is around the same age, with the same build, and went for the same main part, but only got cast in a supporting role, so it's like nobody is easy to distinguish. Their hair colors are not enough. Their drab costumes are not enough. Like, we need people of different genders, ages, ethnicities, and body types so that I could really know who's doing what. And also, we can cut a lot of these characters. We didn't need to write a part for every single person who came in. But anyway, random girl number 17 is about to go confront Nancy for being a fraud on the steps of some building, which we're supposed to know is a water treatment facility.
me Brianna.
And who? Brianna, I don't have a room in my brain for your name. I don't care. Why does Shark Exorcist have to have so many pretty 20-something young women who are killed almost immediately after they're introduced? Is this a movie or is this speed dating a wealthy straight man with anger issues? Anyway, it's time for Mama Red and her unkempt hair to take one last ride. Of course, she's obsessively touching her hair, even as a vomit-spewing blouse monster. I think they're referencing The Exorcist, where they have like the puking green slime thing, but this next part just reminds me of what it probably feels like to have sex with Cousin It from the Addams Family. I know, pretty hot, right? Next, we spend almost 2 full minutes watching some other brand new character jogging through town in what I like to call a gangbang of establishing shots. Bad movies love to pad out the runtime with these types of shots because they're easy to record and, better yet, they require no additional writing. Which also seems to be the reason the filmmaker leaned so heavily on having characters vomit throughout the final act. This guy jogs his way up to some lakeside body. I don't know whose body this is because we never... Oh, it's like I think the last person we saw Allie with. I can't keep it straight. I wish that the movie centered around one larger friend group than just the 3 girls. That way they could be picking off friends one at a time, or maybe the parents of one of the kids. Like, if they all were related to the same central group, it would be easier to keep track.
Oh god. She's still kinda hot. I'd still do her.
Well, gross, but we already knew you had weird instincts when you decided to tilt your head back while throwing up, straight into your air and onto your shirt. But good news for any of you waterlogged girl corpses watching out there, there is at least one guy in puke-crusted track pants who will still f*** you. And yet the most disgusting thing about him is still that Jon Favreau goatee. I don't know if you were concerned that there weren't enough characters in this movie. Let's meet 3 more. It's 2 girls who are pledging to a sorority, and their main sorority girl in a gingham top is like kind of hazing them a little bit, being like, oh, you have to go in the water up to your neck and stay in there until I'm satisfied. But the girls just going up to their ankles. Like every other person in this movie, they're just walking into the lake and clearly standing on the ground. So I mean, one of the scariest things about Jaws or shark movies is like you're treading water and there's something underneath you. We don't even get that in this movie. They're always very safe when it comes to drowning, lake safety type of things. But anyway, they don't get eaten, those 2 girls. The mean girl gets eaten because, as you would imagine, she's standing up on a bridge on dry land, and that makes it really easy for shark attacks to happen. Through a series of events that we're not aware of, Captain What's-His-Name, Father Reverend, shows up at Emily's house to ask about Allie. I wish that we could have seen some research he was doing to come to that, like figuring out where she is, hunting down their school records, something.
I'm sorry to bother you. Is this where Allie Stevens lives?
Do I know you?
Would you calm down, Emily? He's wearing a cross and just entered your home uninvited, so you know he's not a vampire. What more do you want? Now, this scene is pretty much here to give the audience a whole bunch of background information, both in the dialogue and in the actual background of the shot, which is absolutely cluttered with distracting elements. You can even see the paints used to make various set pieces throughout the rest of the film, as well as a bag containing this powdered fake blood that they sell, which we've already seen many times on screen. I know audiences love to see how movies are made, but did nobody on set have the language skills to explain that behind the scenes is different from behind the actors in the scene? Okay, actually that makes sense. Confusing movies are made by confused people. So this guy's like, thanks for letting me, a stranger, into your house. You need to sit down. I would be like, this is the day I die, and it's because of a priest or someone dressed like one. Could have guessed.
I know what happened to your friend, Allie, and how she was attacked by a shark 3 weeks ago.
Everybody knows about that. I mean, it was all over the paper. I mean, it was kind of crazy though, right? A shark in this part of our town?
What part of your town? The lake? Are you saying there are other districts in your town where it would make more sense to encounter a shark? How? Are there certain neighborhoods located inside the ocean? Everyone knows about that. I mean, it is kind of strange. I mean, a shark attack in this part of town? I mean, that's something that happens in poor neighborhoods. I mean, no sweetie, I mean. So you need to clean up your dialogue before I write a scathing review full of personal attack on your IMDb page. The priest is like, did you know that they quietly kept under the rug another shark attack in that same lake this time last year? He's like, I think that it could be not a regular shark, but a demon shark. And Emily's like, you know what? That makes perfect sense. Good thing these are the 2 smartest people on Earth. She starts asking the really important questions.
What's a shark doing in a lake anyway? I mean, don't they normally live in the ocean?
You know, that's a great point that neither I, nor any news station, nor the global scientific community of shark experts had thought to consider. But you know, unlike the deep sea, there is still a lot about medium-sized man-made lakes that we don't understand. Father Reverend is like, I think it's not a normal shark. Normal sharks don't like lakes. Demon sharks happen to love them. They go out on a dock, they crack open a hard seltzer, and they spend the whole day fishing.
But this wouldn't have anything to do with why she's acting weird, would it? She's obsessed with water. I mean, everything has to do with water. She has to be in it or around it. It's almost like she's, I don't know...
Yes?
Effed up. Like a lot.
And like in a sharky type of way, not just because her mom brought her to Weight Watchers meetings as a preteen. I think that line was supposed to be funny, but for some reason, the music cue got even more serious, as though it was some sort of dramatic revelation. I mean, it did reveal that the sound designer didn't know how to blend together two royalty-free background tracks, but everybody knows that if the soundtrack doesn't match the tone of what's being shown on screen, then some female sharks can store sperm for up to 1 year. That's right, in their airtight shark. Alright, that settles it. I'm registering that phrase shark with the trademark office. You can pre-order your t-shirts by sending me money. Now, do you remember how Allie was getting cheated on by her boyfriend with her best friend? Well, we never met that boyfriend, but we're supposed to know that that's who Allie is stalking through this kind of fairground while Allie is on a date with her. Lauren, Allie, I might have messed up those names in that sentence. I don't give a at this point. Not only is Lauren stalking these cheating cheaters, but she's also reminding us, because we didn't know until Emily just said it, that she's obsessed with water or something. Look at her. She's mesmerized by that fish tank. Exactly like a shark, or me waiting for a table at a Chinese food restaurant. By the way, is it the water that she's interested in here, or are there supposed to be goldfish in that tank? And if so, why does the demon revenge shark want to eat goldfish? Did they betray the evil nun also? Also, is Allie slowly turning into a shark, or does she transform into full shark as soon as she lures a victim into the water? And if she's the shark, then what happened to that pre-existing-ish shark that first attacked Allie? Or is Allie just bringing a victim to the shark and then calling the shark over to eat them? Also, how come it seems like Allie and or the shark both need water, but it doesn't matter if it's fresh or salt? Sorry, I just have 80 to 100 more questions for this scene before we move on. Oh, no, we have no time. Allie needs to kill her cheating boyfriend, and we need to watch it. There's something really freaky about Allie, her facial expressions. There's something a little too mischievous and seductive about the way that she's looking at her prey. Maybe this is all symbolism for the sexual stigma imposed upon women. Oh, so that makes this a feminist allegory. In that case, you go, Allie. Your inner shark wants to and I say unleash it, baby. Let that airtight shark plow through this playground full of children, mama. Shark Allie even sees Bobby, the boyfriend, be mean to Lauren. Like, he pushes her forehead. I'm like, that was supposed to be an honest breakup? I would literally murder someone if they pushed my forehead like that. So whether it's out of like sisterhood or just getting revenge on the cheater, Allie does go up as a shark and bite the boyfriend's neck in half. But shortly after, Reverend Father and Emily both capture the shark girl. And now, finally, it's time for that godforsaken exorcism that the title promised us. Even though a priest can't really perform an exorcism without permission from the clergy or from like the Pope or whatever. Yeah, I saw a movie. And I also saw the two movies that this one is trying to like spoof. Although I forgot that they were even remotely involved with this because of their disparate levels in quality until they made these references.
Demon, the power of Christ commands you. I order you to cease your evil and corruption. Demon, be gone!
We're gonna need a bigger cross.
The size of the cross has nothing to do with it, you dumbass. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I just really want to tell Emily to shut up for some reason, but I can't. At least she didn't misquote one of the two movies that this one is based on. It's actually The Power of Christ Compels You, Father Shark Get it right. That stupid shark-possessed woman pukes blood, or no, the green slime onto the father reverend, and then I don't know what he does. Oh, he gets killed. He gets bit by the girl's teeth, shark teeth, and his eyes turn red. So it's like, okay, he's dead. And then we see the big ghost demon shark, I suppose the one that's possessed Allie, coming out of the moon, and it just like approaches the two girls, and they're enveloped in some sort of like, so we see Emily run away. Then the wounded father, Reverend Shark and Allie are consumed by this red strobe light. Fade to black. Now we fade in on the final, nope, there's several more, on some other random girl in the movie who we don't know. And then we get a very prolonged scene where she's laying on this overcast, dusty, dirty looking grass as though it's a beach. And we see some unknown man come up and take photos of her in her bikini and review them very casually. So I'm like, what? I guess that was supposed to be just like a fake out type of thing, but it just added to the overall uneasiness that this filmmaker has imparted on me. The real scare is when this unknown Jane Doe wakes up and turns around and sees someone you might recognize from the very first scene of the movie. God, I'm so confused. Was Sister Vanessa Blair just hiding out in town this whole last year? Why is she still wearing a habit a year into worshiping Satan? Why did that girl scream like Kevin McAllister from Home Alone? These are the things we'll never know, because all we see is Sister Vanessa Blair licking the blood off of her knife. I'm like, okay, she eats blood now? Is she the shark? Why does she spend minutes and minutes doing it? And then some other girl gets out of the water. I don't know who this is supposed to be. Is it Emily? Doesn't look like her. She's not wearing Emily's clothes, and she has this hair down in front of her face. Like, I truly don't know who that is. Is it the first girl that woman murdered? Because it's, again, like, we didn't even meet that girl. She didn't have a name. So how am I supposed to know when she comes back out of the water like a phoenix from the ashes, but with shitty hair? Anyway, she exacts her revenge, Ghost Girl, by jumping out of the water and pulling Vanessa Blair, the ex-nun, into the water. And it's like, okay, I guess that's it. Except it's not even close to it, because although the credits start to roll, we have 2 post-credit scenes. No, make that 3, and they all suck. Cut to Emily stumbling up to the dock from the land with a really poorly done shark wound on her arm, and she walks up to Allie, and Allie's like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And then Emily is like, "Forgive me," and she jumps into the water, and then a shark jumps out of the water and attacks Lauren, who I just called Allie, but you know it's Lauren, okay? Allie's dead, and she always has been, or maybe not, we don't know. Anyway, cut to credits, except for now, because there's another post-credit scene where we meet this other girl, a young girl, an actual teenager, like we should have had before, who's like walking through a aquarium, and she's like really likes the fish tank, and she also like really likes these stuffed shark. So I'm like, okay, we had that other girl playing with the stuffed shark, or the rubber shark toy, so it's like maybe that's the same person just with different hair. It's not. It's a new person. It's a new person. It's a new person. Oh, okay, little girl, that's a normal thing to do. Go pay for your shark toy now. I mean, that looks exactly the same as the first one you picked out, but whatever. You definitely should go with that one. Go end this scene. Oh, come on, girl, those are all exactly the same. Why are you like this? Well, good luck finding a ride home, because your mother abandoned you here hours ago. I'm telling you, that better be the last shark toy that you look at for an extended period of time. Oh, son of a shark. I've just decided I'm committing arson after this. That's how unbalanced Shark Exorcist has made me. What is this long-ass, minutes-long scene of looking at stuffed sharks? I mean, as you may have guessed, this girl is now shark-possessed too, even though I can't think of any creature who would be less fascinated by a toy shark than an actual shark. They'd be like, what the f*** That is an offensive caricature. So I guess this girl just like takes all the shark toys with her, and then she goes and looks into the aquarium, presumably at a shark, but there is none that we see on screen, in captivity, and it makes her cry. So I'm like, okay, she got shark emotions now. And it all comes to a terrifying conclusion when she turns around, and then that conclusion parlays into another post-credits scene for a final conclusion, if you will. We saw that. She just puked onto her hands and then almost ran them straight through her hair again. Classic. You know, you are really sick, Nancy Chase. Anyway, the camera pans up to reveal that building again, which, again, the audience has no way of knowing is a water treatment facility unless you look it up online. When I first saw this, I was like, oh, she's visiting the Lincoln Memorial. Sharks support the war in Iraq. But no, I believe this is supposed to reveal why random little girls are coming down with shark sickness in the town. I guess maybe I could have figured that out on my own. I just didn't know that another signature trait seen in all breeds of shark is that they are unable to digest orange tang. And that's what makes this third and final ending to the movie so airtight, like a shark. Registered trademark Nick DiRamio 2023. Because that's all we have to say about Shark Exorcism. Oh my god. I mean, the movie like this could have been successful with the same camera work, same lack of lighting, even with the same non-actors performing all the roles, if the story had been tightened up drastically. We don't need all of those characters, and all of those characters should not be more or less the same girl born within 3 months of each other. Like, that alone is enough to send me through the roof. Also, I wish that there was more of a connection to Mary Blair and the victims that she did choose to hunt down. Like, for example, Mary Blair, maybe Vanessa Blair was tortured endlessly by these girls that she taught at the Sunday school. So she is now hunting down those girls after they started high school. They're on the list of naughty girls. And then if there could have been some reason that the shark was going after these girls, other than that, would have been nice. Like, why was the shark only killing the characters we were meant to hate, like the bullies and the cheating boyfriend? I thought Vanessa Blair wanted to get, like, revenge on the world who betrayed her. Also, I didn't feel for the brother that died and compelled Reverend Shark Pussy to even go after this shark. There's no world building. There's no characterization. Everything was just bad hair and makeup. But let me know what you think about this Shark Exorcism. Have you ever had a shark exorcising in your shark pussy? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks again to Helix. Make sure you visit helixsleep.com/DiRamio to get 20% off your new mattress plus 2 free pillows. Also, give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more Tubi horror movies broken down this Hallow season. But most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. Make sure you click that notification bell icon. That way you'll always be the first to know when I'm chucking a dead teenager into your local lake to summon a demon. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you so much for spitting up an orange liquid with me today. I will see you next time.